February. Hey guys, welcome back. It's that time of the month. It is the book selection time for the month of February. This month is Valentine's Day, so I'm really hoping that there are some Valentine's-y picks from book of the month. I don't know if there will be. Romance isn't their strongest suit, I will say, but there are some books that I am hopeful for, so I'm just really excited to see if they're out there. So let's just dive right in. Okay, so we have 6 selections this month. Starting right out, classic, we have a thriller that's also debut. Welcome to the party. This remote Thai island may have dead bodies piling up, but don't fret. Here, have a drink. Psychological, multiple viewpoints, action-packed, and unreliable narrator. Content warning, self-harm, and sexual assault. Good to know. Welcome to paradise. We hope you survive your stay. There are 3 rules to follow during a vacation at the famous Khoi Sang Resort. Leave the past behind. When Cass sets foot on the coast of Thailand's world-famous party island, she's searching for an escape. With dark secrets following her every move, it becomes the perfect place to hide. Always be careful who you trust. Makes sense. Years later, Cass is a local dive instructor along the Permanents, a group of expats who have claimed the island as their own. Oh, years later. Oh, she moved here. The Permanents don't linger on who they were before the island, simply because, like Cass, they have something to outrun. Okay, so vacation turned into a permanent job, but suddenly a dive student is found dead and paradise comes crashing down because this isn't the first mysterious death on the island, and it won't be the last. Someone knows who Cass is and they're ready to make sure justice is finally served. Whoa, wait, back up. Okay, first published April 27th of 2023. Was it independently published? That might be a typo, not sure, but that seems very strange. Okay, so we're not gonna dwell on that. It might have been self-published at some point and that's why it came out last year, but it is being published now by Sourcebooks Landmark. Comes out February 6th, 384 pages, super basic, 3.75, not terrible for a debut that's a thriller. I feel like that's pretty basic. I'm not gonna pick this one. I'm trying to stay away from picking thrillers just because I read them once and then I don't find myself wanting to read them again. So if I do wanna read thrillers in the future, I'll probably just get them from the library. Next, we have a historical fiction, another debut, The Mayor of Maxwell Street. A Black debutante working undercover as a journalist is thrust into prominence and danger in Prohibition-era Chicago. I always see 400 plus pages and I'm like, I like short books. Unless it's a part of a series. I am reading Crescent City #3 right now, and that's over for 800 pages, but I'm like into it. I'm super like, oh my gosh, I love this. That's going really well, by the way, so far. Just so you know, if you haven't started reading that yet, it's going really well. 400 plus pages, puzzle, movie-ish. I do like that, and glamorous. That's kind of fun. It is 1921. Nellie Sawyer is the daughter of the wealthiest Negro in America whose affluence capulated his family to the heights of Black society. After the unexpected death of her only brother, she becomes the premier debutante overnight. But she has aspirations beyond society, influence, and marriage. For the past year, she's worked undercover as an investigative journalist during the achievements and tribulations of everyday Black people living in the shadow of Jim Crow. Her latest assignments thrust her into the den of a dangerous vice lord, the so-called mayor of Maxwell Street. Born in rural Alabama to a murdered biracial couple, Jay knows firsthand what it means to be denied a chance of the American dream. When a tragic turn of fate gave Jay a rare path out, he took it. He washed up on Chicago's storied shores and forged his own way to the top of the city's underworld, running Chicago's swankiest speakeasy, where the rich and famous rub elbows with gangsters and politicians. When Nellie and Jay's paths cross, she recruits him to help expose the mayor. Wait, isn't he the mayor? Oh no, he's not the mayor. I thought Jay was the mayor. I'm like, oh, that's an easy story. It's him. When she recruits him to help expose the mayor and bring about lasting change into a corrupt city. But Jay also introduced a whole new world to Nellie, where her horizons can extend beyond the confines of her ivory tower. Trapped between Jim Crow, the inflexible world of black upper class, and the violence of Prohibition-era Chicago, Jay and Nellie work together to stoke the flames of a love worth fighting for. I figured, I was like, I feel like there's a love story somewhere in here. So this comes out, oh, it already came out, January 30th. Whew, it is 528 pages. That feels long. I don't feel like it needs to be that long. I don't know. I'm not a big historical fiction fan personally, so I won't read this one, but over 500 pages does seem long to me. Okay, so next we have a romance, finally. I was like, it's Valentine's Day. We need some sort of romance. Ready or Not, a surprise. It's a pregnancy. I already know I'm not gonna read this one. A surprise pregnancy forces a young Brooklynite to take stock in her life, uncovering a romance hiding in plain sight. You know me, I don't like books or romances with pregnancy as a trope, so I probably won't read this one. But it's 400 plus pages, which also is a pet peeve when it comes to romances. They do not need to be over 400 pages, in my opinion. Salacious, though, we love that. New York City, that's fun. And friends to lovers, that's always cute. Eve lives her surprises. Just kidding. She expects every tomorrow to be pretty much the same as today. She loves her cozy apartment in Brooklyn that's close to her best friend Willa and far from her Midwestern traditional family who has never understood her. While her job is only dream adjacent, it's comfortable and steady. She always knows what to expect from her life until she finds herself expecting after an uncharacteristic one-night stand. The unplanned pregnancy cracks open all of the relationships in her life. Her loyal friendship with Willa is feeling tense right when she needs her the most. And it's actually Willa's older brother, Shep, who steps up to help Eve. Don't worry, Eve, I got you. He's always been friendly, but now he's checking in, ordering her surprise lunches, listening to her complaints, and is suddenly kinda hot. Then, as if she has one more complication, there's the baby's father, who is technically supportive, but majorly conflicted. Up until this point, Eve's been content to coast through life. Now, though, maybe it's the hormones, maybe it's the way Shep's shoulders look at a t-shirt. East. Okay, maybe this would be a fun read. Eve starts to wonder if she's been secretly desiring more from every aspect of her life. Over the course of 9 months, as Eve struggles to figure out the next right step in her expanding reality, she begins to realize the family and love come in all forms and can sneak up on you when you least expect it. Okay, comes out the day before Valentine's Day, so that's kind of cute. It actually sounds really cute. I feel like if it didn't have the like surprise pregnancy trope in it, I'd be a lot more into it. Since it does have that trope and that's not my favorite trope, I won't purchase this like as a main pick, but I might look into reading it, like getting it from the library. Oh, I have had my eye on this one. Historical fantasy. The cover I think looks so good. I love that it's the person and then the reflection of the fox in the water. I love that. So the fox wife, taking inspiration from Chinese folklore, this winter tale follows a fox seeking revenge in the dangerous world of men. 400 plus pages, but that's okay because it's fantasy. Multiple viewpoints, non-linear timeline, and international. Book contains mentions of death of a child. 1908, in the last years of the dying empire, a courtesan is found frozen in a doorway. Her death is clouded by rumors of foxes, which are believed to lure people by transforming themselves into beautiful women and handsome men. I love that premise. I do. I don't know. I love that. Bao, a detective with uncanny ability to sniff out the truth, is hired to uncover the dead woman's identity. Since childhood, he's been intrigued by the fox gods, yet they've remained remained tantalizingly out of reach until perhaps now. Meanwhile, a family who owns a famous Chinese medicine shop can cure ailments but can't escape the curse that afflicts them. Their oldest sons die before their 21st birthdays. When a servant named Snow enters their household, the family's luck seems to change, or does it? Snow is a creature of many secrets, but most of all, she's a mother seeking vengeance for her lost child. Hunting a murderer, she will follow the trail from northern China to Japan, while Bao follows doggedly behind. Both Snow and Bao will encounter old friends, new foes, even as more deaths occur. The 400 pages comes out the day before Valentine's Day, so that's exciting. Yeah, no, I love like retellings, myths, anything like that. So for me, this is like historical fiction, but it's also like a mythology, like fantasy type thing. So I'm super, super into this one, and this will probably end up being one that I do pick this month. Okay, so next we have a historical fiction. So lots of historicals. So we have historical fiction, historical fantasy, and another historical fiction. So strong month for historicals. So of course, Kristin Hanna, several other of her novels have been Book of the Year. I have multiple of her books, I just have not gotten around to reading them yet. I feel like for me, historical fiction always goes to like the bottom of my TBR list, even though like I want to read them, like The Great Alone and like I think it's Four Winds or something. I want to read them and I own them. Just haven't gotten around it. So this is tracing a coming of age and nation gravely divided, an epic tribute to the undersung female heroes of the Vietnam War. 400 plus pages, I expected that. Underdog, 60s, and war. Mentions of suicidal ideation and scenes that depict miscarriage. Women can be heroes. When 20-year-old nursing student Frances hears these words, it's a revelation. Raised in the sun-drenched idyllic world of Southern California and sheltered by her conservative parents, she's always prided herself on doing the right thing. But in 65, the world is changing, and she suddenly dares to imagine a different future for herself. When her brother ships out to serve Vietnam, she joins the army and follows his path. As green and inexperienced as the men sent to Vietnam to fight, Frankie is overwhelmed by the chaos and destruction of war. Each day is a gamble of life and death, hope and betrayal. Friendships run deep and can be shattered in an instant. In war, she meets and becomes one of the lucky, brave, broken, and the lost. But war is just the beginning for Frankie and her veteran friends. The real battles lie in coming home to an unchanged and divided America, to angry protesters, and to a country that wants to forget Vietnam. A lot of novels focus on World War II, so I find it very kind of, I don't know if refreshing is the right word. I find it a good thing, I guess, to see that like she's going a different direction and going to like the Vietnam War instead of like another World War II book, because I feel like those are extremely common. So yeah, I mean, I think it sounds good. I think it sounds powerful and impactful for women. And I like that it focuses on like kind of like a war that is not World War II, because that has been done time and time again. If you like historical fiction, I think that's great. I think it's a great option. 480 pages, comes out February 6th. All right, our last one is a fantasy. So this is actually a young adult fantasy, because there are several subscription boxes that focus on young adult books that are doing this as their main pick. So I actually think that this book sounds really good. I am thinking that I probably will skip the special edition of it and just get it through Book of the Month, just because I don't know if I'm gonna like it either way, and then that way I won't have to spend more money on a special edition. So this is the last book, so I'm gonna talk about this real quick and then we're gonna look at this one. So I was convinced that Bride by Ali Hazelwood was going to be a February main pick because of their hints, which I can show you a picture of this specific hint. It looks like the cover of Bride, and I was convinced that it was Bride. Like, people on Reddit were convinced it was Bride. Like, it was Bride in everyone's head. And now looking at this cover, I'm like, oh, that looks like the cover that they were kind of basing that hint off of, potentially. It's fine. We're just gonna move past it, and it's not an add-on. I already looked, but we'll talk about that in a second. So Heartless Hunter, Out, cat and mouse. In, witch and witch hunter. Welcome to a bloody world brimming with magic, romance, and intrigue. 400 plus pages, first in a series, witchy and romantasy. On the night Rune's life changed forever, blood ran the streets. Now in the aftermath of a devastating revolution, witches have been diminished from powerful rulers to outcasts ruthlessly hunted due to their waning magic, and Rune must hide what she is. Spending her days pretending to be nothing more than a vapid young socialite, Rune spends her nights as the Crimson Moth, a witch vigilante who rescues her kind from being purged. When a rescue goes wrong, she decides to throw the witch hunters off her scent and gain the intel she desperately needs by courting this handsome Gideon Sharp, a notorious and unforgiving witch hunter loyal to the revolution, who she can't help but find herself falling for. Gideon loathes the decadence and superficiality Rune represents, but when he learns the Crimson Moth has been using Rune's merchant ships to smuggle renegade witches out of the Republic, he inserts himself into her social circles by pretending to court her right back. He soon realizes that beneath her beauty and shallow facade is someone fiercely intelligent and tender who feels like his perfect match. Except, what if she's the very villain he's been hunting? It sounds so like basic almost and like cheesy, but like I can't help but be like, I want to read that. So it comes out February 20th, but it has a really good starting out ratings at 4.36. So I'm pretty excited by that. It is young adult, but it's also like that romantasy. So I don't know if it'll be open door or not, like if it'll be spicy, because young adult typically isn't. But I'm excited for it. And so I am definitely going to be picking that to put in my box. And then also the Fox Wife, I'm really, really interested in that. I'm trying to decide if I want to purchase it as an add-on or if I want to just try and get it from my library. I'm leaning towards just getting it here though. So let's look at the add-ons. Bride is not an add-on, like I was hoping for. I'm like, it has to be somewhere. It literally has to. They've done all of her other releases. I'm thinking that they might put it as an add-on like February 7th because it releases on February 6th. So maybe they'll stick it on as like, because they've been doing that. They've just been sticking add-ons randomly after everybody already orders their books. Like in the middle of the month, they'll just be like, oh, look, there's a new add-on. So I'm actually going to wait on ordering my book until a couple of days maybe past that release to see if it gets offered as an add-on. And then if it is, I will get it as an add-on. If I can get it from Book of the Month, I want it because I don't want to get just a softback edition of it. If I can get it as a hardback from Book of the Month, everything would be peachy and I would be very, very happy. If not, I'm not going to be very happy. I'm honestly really surprised that it wasn't a main pick since it's like her paranormal debut, but whatever. Butcher and the Blackbird. I talked about wanting that one a lot, but I did put a hold on it through my library and I got it and I started reading it. So I don't know if I'm actually going to buy it since I'm already reading it. So to be determined on that one. None of the other ones are really kind of calling to me. But like I said, I'm going to check back in like a week or so to see if they've added Bride so that I can add it to my box. If they haven't, I'm gonna be very sad. Fingers crossed on that one. So I'm really curious, what were you hoping for? Bride. What were you excited that they put as main picks? What are you not excited for? What do you want to read? All that good stuff. Let me know in the comments down below. As always, thank you so much for spending your time with me. I really appreciate it. I hope that you find something really awesome to read. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.